Well, hey all, it's your pal Dave, finally back in Hermosa. It was my 4 days that turned into 2 months. Pretty crazy, but I'm finally back. What happened? Well, went home for a medical appointment, do a CT scan on my hip because it kept dislocating, and frickin' dislocated again. That's the short story. So I ended up having to stay and have a revision done on my prosthetic hip, but it's done now. It's done. God, it felt like forever. So much just sitting around doing a whole lot of nothing. But I'm back in paradise, back on the job site. Figured I'd do a quick video so you guys could see what's going on. At first glance, it doesn't look like much, but there's a lot of frickin' land. Here, let me swing this around. A lot of frickin' dirt that we're dealing with here. So I'll walk you around so you can see where we're at. But first, just soak in the view for a second. Damn, it's good to be back. It's hot. It's the middle of our dry season. So that farmer down there's burning off some of what's left of the crop, and then they'll plant that all again. And come June, when it starts raining again, I mean, it's super green now, kind of hazy with the smoke, but it just explodes with greenery and everything like that. This is our winter. Everything's super dry. But I also wanted to start way down here on this furthest edge right here, so you could just get kind of a perspective of everything that's been going on. Can you see this little lip right here, right in front of us? I mean, there gradually, it's like the lot keeps getting bigger and bigger. Of course, eventually this spot that we're staring at, if you remember, this is where the main house is going to be. So we're not going to fuss with this for a while. This is phase 2, but I mean, we've been able to, just by pushing dirt around, to recapture a lot more usable flat ground. And then when we finally get around to doing the retaining wall along this end, it's going to be beautiful. It's just going to be freaking amazing. So let's go for a little walk. So a lot of what we've done so far at this point has just been infrastructure. We should be getting the final permits to start the actual structures here within the next week or so, but we decided that it was smart to do the plans for the entire property, phase 1 and phase 2 now, because laws change in Costa Rica, and we want to make sure that we get our plans grandfathered in. So that set us back on the plans just a little bit, and then obviously we can't get permits if we don't have plans. So as soon as the plans are done, they go right over to the Mooney, and they're already expecting them, because my project manager, Steph, is like that, and he's all over this shit. God, this looks good. We have really built this up. I mean, down there where you see that grass, that was about where the land was. So we've come up here, I'd say a couple feet. So let's come around the corner here, and you can see one hell of an impressive retaining wall. So if I didn't mention in one of the other videos, what I'd really like to do, and again, this has come up quite a ways too. See, I mean, that was where it was down there before, and now we've lifted it up. And what we're going to do here is, this is going to be a little pathway down here. This isn't too steep, and as we put dirt down here, we'll really be able to play around with the elevation. But it goes down into that nice little point there, to where you see that dead tree right there, and that whole area right in, oh, this is not pretty, but you get the idea. Right there on that little finger, that's where there's going to be a gazebo. Nice place to go sit. I mean, that's sunset right there, bam. So, but when you're down there too, you also get that view right there. So just a really beautiful little spot that, when I'm done with all the landscaping and planting more trees and stuff, it's just going to be tucked into the jungle right there. And then down here, we'll have a nice little winding path down into down to the creek, which is down all the way at the base down there. So I know I've mentioned some of this stuff in videos past, but it's been 2 freaking months. So my apologies. I'm just kind of refreshing my mind on it. But look at that spot right there. It's just going to be amazing to put a little orchard, fruit trees, nut trees, all the stuff that bring in the birds and the monkeys and the sloths and all that. So this is going to be a special place. This is going to be one of those places where super, super luxurious and comfortable, but just also just tucked right into nature, just hand in hand with the monkeys and the sloths and the birds. Look at this retaining wall. So Steph's concern, and I get it, is that they're expecting a pretty serious winter this year. They're thinking that we're going to get a lot of rain. And initially, this is where we were going to stop the wall. However, what Steph would like to do is just bring it just over to about here, to about where you see this piece of rebar, maybe just a little bit further to where it, it would tie in down in there. I don't know. But it would be for, just get it all done now. Might as well get it all done now. And then it'll make it a lot easier for us to do the gazebo right away. Kind of include that in phase one. Gazebos aren't expensive. So anyway, let's keep walking because there's a lot more here. Still having issues getting the water situation all sorted away. We have our own well, but we haven't quite gotten all the lines working, or I don't know, I'll have to check with Steph. We just built this, which I think is a godsend because it's mobile. We can move it anywhere. So if all the guys are here, we just got one dude working right now. But if all the guys are here, all 6 of them, you can set it up so that they're always working in the shade. It's really cool. These are all rainwater collections. So you can see, if you see, we'll walk up here, you'll see a couple squares in the ground. They're basically like floor drains. The last thing that you want is for the soil to get weak. I mean, it's super duper strong. It's super solid, but we're in Costa Rica and we get earthquakes. So you don't want half of your property falling off of the hill. So you do badass retaining walls and you make sure that you've got really good drainage systems. So this is where all the rainwater is going to ultimately come into. And then off of this T down here, we will drop a couple pipes meandering kind of down the hill towards the creek. And then what I would like to do is also have some branches off of that so that we can water the orchard and make sure that all of our plants and stuff like that are getting plenty of water from the rain. So it seemed like a practical way of going about it to make sure that your orchard stays nice and hydrated, but you're not letting your land slip away at the same time. So a little bit more of a bump up here. I mean, as we go, we're just doing these slight little couple foot up terraces along here, just giving the property a little bit more character. Underneath here, by the way, huge leach field, couple other tanks over in here. So piping all throughout here, infrastructure all throughout here. So, if you recall, 3 cabinas right here. One here, one there, one there. The neighbor just put up that little fence. Yeah, making good progress. Somebody's getting some new mattresses, huh? We're not quite there yet. Just bringing the wall up a little bit higher in a few spots here. I mean, we've really been able to reclaim a lot of flat land here. Right about here, like in here, this is where it started to go down. And I mean, we've built all of this up. So this is going to make our plans work. It's going to make everything hopefully be easy. We'll even, bring this up. You can see that we can come up even a little bit higher. So we'll bring in some more dirt. But if you recall, each one of the cabinas is going to have a little quench pool, with that as your view. Not so bad. So we really have to make sure that the wall is super duper solid right here, which it is. But we're also going to do molded pools because we're doing 3 identical pools. you can do these really cool fiberglass pools that you can, I mean, anything you can mold, you can build a pool out of it. You know, when you're doing 3, you get a better deal than you're doing if you're just doing 1. But they're really, really low maintenance from what I understand. So got to get to that point though. But again, you know, we've just been kind of putzing with the infrastructure stuff because we've been waiting on the permitting. You know, the government came up here and they came and checked. How's it going? We told them exactly what we're doing. Said, hey, just doing infrastructure stuff. Plans aren't ready, and this is fine. You can do infrastructure stuff without having any existing plans. But I think it's looking really good. I'm very pleased. So we're making progress. And look, the Jeep got its new shoes or its old shoes back on, so it doesn't look like such a baby anymore. I have to go in first all the way up the hill, but who cares? It looks cool. That's all that matters, right? Okay, guys. It won't be 2 months till the next one, I promise. Until then, ciao. Take care.